dash, and moving like yesterday, dash. Catching these catching up, catching these back in the front, go back to my front, go to the back, they able to continue that next to the butt. Dash, and we look at my these dash. Dash, dash, dash. I'm like my dash. I'm a fucking like dash, and then like that. And you know, I'm like something on the dash, I'm jump on the head like dash, and then like dash, and then come the back, and then the back. Yes, you know what it is. Yes, I'm freestyling. Yes, you know what it is. Yes, I'm freestyling. You already know what it is. Yes, I'm freestyling. Yes, you know what it is. Okay, then I'm freestyling. Let's go freestyle. 24 years old. That was quick. What the frick? What the new goal? Easy peasy, I'm a easy. Have a go like the weezy. They hit it, the easy. I'm gonna make my bucks. I just go into the easy.
She's talking about that chair that's underneath there, but move it.
Hey guys, my camera's about to die, so I'm not gonna have my FaceTime on this. But next video I will have my FaceTime on. It's just my camera is dead in this video. I'm still charging it, so yeah. Hey guys, K-Dice here. Today we're about to watch a reaction. It's called The Bridge. Now The Bridge, look, this is the first time I've watched Lava Arts. I just saw this because my boy Corey Kitchen saw it. So I was like, wait, this looks really good. So I'm gonna react to it myself. This is the first time I react. So
this story takes place when I was about 16 years old. At my school, I played for the volleyball team, and every year we would go to a camp and do volunteer work for this guy. The camp was in the middle of nowhere. When we got to the camp, we immediately started...
Wait, in the middle of nowhere? Ah, hey, son, I ain't doing work for you. I'm leaving this camp.
...to work until 8 p.m. This was around October, so it was already dark at 8. My two friends and I were sitting around the fire, trying to figure out something we could do so we weren't so bored. We heard that there was a small river down the hill from the camp, and we thought we could check it out. The problem is that it was some guy's property, and the owner of the camp told us to not disturb him since the guy was a little strange. We weren't really supposed to leave the camp, but being 16 years old, we loved breaking the rules. We walked about 10...
Y'all love breaking rules. I would have left a long time ago. I would have been like, dude, that's a bad idea. There's a camp up there. I mean, you could leave there and probably go do something else. Yeah, no. That's not an excuse to do it now.
...minutes from the camp and finally reached the river. It was bigger than we expected, and there was a large wooden bridge that crossed it. The bridge was about 20 feet long and was big enough to let a truck go over it. My two friends and I decided to go under the bridge and check it out. As we were walking by the shoreline, we saw two headlights off in the distance moving towards the bridge, so we bolted underneath it and hid. We then heard the truck roll over our heads and to the other side. My friends and I chilled there for a while, just talking and throwing rocks in the water. It was about 8:30 at this time, and now it was pretty much pitch black. That's when we started to hear a slow rumble in the distance. The same truck had come back, and this time it was moving much slower. We stayed put under the bridge, stifling our laughter. Eventually, the truck moved over the bridge, but rather than going over to the other side, the truck stopped right on top of us. The only thing you could hear was the rushing water and the hum of the engine. Then, the door of the truck swung open, and out came a loud thump on top of the bridge. Then we heard a loud scream saying, "I know you're out there! I'm gonna find you!" I looked at my friends and they were both shaking in fear. This must have been the crazy property owner, and he seemed pissed that we were on his land. He started screaming and saying he was gonna hurt us if he finds us. We could see that he had a flashlight and he was swinging it around looking for us. We heard loud thumps as he walked around a little bit, calling out for us, and thank God he never went under the bridge. Eventually, it went silent, and it sounded as if he went back into his truck. I was too terrified to move. We sat there for about 10 minutes, and then my one friend, who we'll call Trevor, whispered in my ear, saying that we have to go. I gave him a quick nod, and in slow motion we moved out from under the bridge. We started to army crawl on the shoreline of the river, and I remember looking behind me to see the top of the bridge. I saw a white Ford F-150. In the driver's seat was the man, staring right at me with a sinister smile, and he even gave me a little wave. At that moment I screamed and ran. My friends saw me run and took off after me.
Yeah, and he black. When you see somebody run, first thing you do is run. Don't even ask questions later. You run, and then when y'all get to the house, that's when you pull up with him. While we ran. See? That's what you gotta do.
You're screaming from behind us. I took a quick glance behind me and saw that he was chasing after us, and I couldn't quite make out the object in his hand, but it seemed to be a weapon of some sort.
That's a knife. Look. Ask questions later. Run now.
We ran into the forest and ducked behind a bush. It was pitch black in the forest, and we couldn't hear a thing. We sat there for a while, just shaking. The man never walked by us, and we never heard him. After we gathered our courage, we got up and walked back to camp, got into our tents, and tried to fall asleep. The next morning, we talked to the camp owner about the man that owned the property of the river. The camp owner said that he didn't know much about the man, but he knows that he has some mental problems and he'd been accused of assault. I am so happy that we were able to escape from underneath the bridge. I can't imagine what would have happened if he caught us.
He'd probably kill you. I told you. Don't ask questions. Run. Don't ask questions. Your friend's black.
Thank you for sticking around to the end of the video.
Alright. I'm not trying to sell people's merch. But go buy his merch, bro. That's his really good merch. Alright. We're back. We got another story. A scary vacation story. Okay. What's this one about?
During my holiday, I spent about 3 weeks in Japan.
Wait, isn't that the same dude who ran away from that other dude? Never mind, he's in Japan.
I arrived pretty late, so I couldn't check into the hotel that I initially booked. So I booked the cheapest hotel that I could find nearby. Aesthetically, it was quite nice, but it did have easy access to the building, meaning anyone could come in and go to any room as they please. Plus, there was no security in sight. After arriving in my room, I ordered some food and watched some TV. I was still pretty jet-lagged from the flight, so I started to get ready for bed. As I was falling asleep, I felt the urge to double-check the door just to see if it was locked. I didn't think anything was going to happen, but I'd rather be safe than sorry.
Exactly.
About 5 minutes after I checked the door, I heard footsteps outside. Initially, I thought it was someone leaving their room, but the footsteps started to pick up speed. The sound started getting louder and louder, and I started to freak out a little. All of a sudden, the sound stopped. I looked at the light shining through the bottom of my door, and there was a shadow of a person.
Shoot, I would have called 911 right then and there.
It was too late for
Would have
that.
been like,
Or maybe it was some drunk idiot who was at the wrong room. As soon as I switched my light on, the shadow disappeared. I was confused, but I reluctantly went back to bed. That's when I suddenly heard scratching coming from my door, so I immediately turned my light on and shouted, "Who's there?" After a moment of silence, I heard the footsteps slowly fade away. At this point, I was thinking it could be some kids messing around, so I got up, opened the door, and peeked my head outside. I glanced in both directions down the dark and slim hallways.
oh, you better lock that door
That's
back,
when
too.
my heart stopped.
If you don't
The
lock that
man
door back, I'm
emerged
just
from the
punch you in the face,
darkness
bro.
and ran erratically towards me. His face was contorted as he screamed, and I could see he was holding a knife in his right hand. As he got closer, I could see him more clearly.
Close
He
it.
had disgusting
Close
long,
it.
dirty hair.
Close it.
His clothes
Close
were
it.
ripped, and he
Close
had
it.
cuts and bruises
Close
all
it.
over. I quickly slammed my door and pressed against it, praying that the man would just go away. After what felt like hours, I finally
Lock it.
gathered my courage. and
Don't just
looked at the
close it.
people.
Lock it.
He was
Three-finger
gone.
guy.
I let out a sigh of relief and checked the peephole again. My heart started pumping faster than ever before. He was right in front of the door. He
Gadio,
was
you
wearing
should
a
lock the
maniacal
door.
smile on his face, and all of a sudden he raised his knife and yelled, "I'm gonna fucking kill you!" I jumped back
Lock
and
the
kept my
door.
eyes locked
Lock
on the
the-
bottom of the door as I
Lock
backed
the
up to my
door.
bed.
Lock the
I grabbed my
door.
phone and started dialing the police. As I raised the phone to my ear, I saw that the shadow was gone. When the police arrived, I tried to explain what happened, and they checked the security cameras. They almost immediately recognized the man. He had
Oh.
been doing this to people for a while now, and the police had been trying to track him down for months. After a long night of no sleep, I finally arrived at the right hotel that I had booked initially in Tokyo.
Oh, thank Lord.
That creepy guy was still on my mind, but I thought the chances of him being here were pretty slim, so I didn't bother locking my door that night.
Oh, that's
At 12:05
dumb.
a.m., I woke up to a big bang next to me. I turned around to see the same guy passed out on the floor, with a knife in hand. I was in shock. How did he find me? I quickly ran out of the room and locked him inside.
Oh, that's good.
The cops came and he was finally arrested. Let's just say I'm always going to be locking my doors from now on.
Exactly. You should have done that earlier. Bruh, being black sucks. Because people won't listen to you. Seriously. I can't stand that. Alright, so we're back in this horn-headed man guy. Alright, so I figured out how to adjust my audio. So yeah.
Moonlight peered through my window as I jolted awake. My clamorous breaths disturbed the silence of my dark room. I had just come out of a frightful dream that
You leave your door open?
had me thinking it was all too real. With sweat on my brow, I sat up and grabbed my water from the nightstand and took a sip from the now warmed glass. My hands shook as I recounted my nightmare of the horn-headed man. In my dream, I was walking through my neighborhood, the streetlights flickering as I made my way down the uninhabited sidewalk.
Where do you live?
Nothing threatening, just a walk through the midnight hours. A block down, I could see a figure in the distance, walking slowly towards me. His steps seemed mismatched and labored. He passed a few houses looking straight ahead, neither looking left nor right. His head was fixed on the sidewalk in front of him. As I was getting closer to my home, I could see him slowly starting to embark on my territory. I quickly rushed to my front door and hurried inside. Through my window, I could see him walk past my property. I was
You should have locked your door.
thinking to myself, "Oh God, please have him keep going, please." He was just about to walk all the way past my front yard when he stopped. His body almost shifted abnormally as he turned to face my home. He just stood there, looking, not moving, just standing there. The man bore the horned head of a skeletal goat. His body was pale and looked fragile, and his fingers were thin and bony. I thought to myself, what does he want? Slowly, he started lifting a quivering arm and pointed right at me. I started to backpedal into the darkness of my house.
You should be so scared.
When all of a sudden he let out an inhuman screech. That's when I woke up. Too frightened to go back to bed, I turned on the television and saw that the local news for early risers was on. My stomach dropped and my body suddenly turned cold as I listened to the current news report.
What's the news report say?
The news anchor on the television said, "Breaking news. A woman who lived on Columbia Avenue has been murdered. Local officials say that they received an anonymous phone call from the victim's home. We arrived at the house at around 12:20. We saw the victim inside and a card which rested next to her. The sheriff held up the card. On the back of it, I could see the image of the horn-headed.
What? That's not what you saw in the dream. A dream. Let me stop.
Man. The officer started to read. One down. Slowly I go. He then lifted his head back up. His blood started trickling from his eyes and mouth.
What the freak?
I sat there shaking, and I couldn't breathe. Columbia's just 3 blocks away from me. I jumped out of my bed and ran to my window. Something within me made me want to look outside. That's when I saw him.
Oh, you dead. Yeah, you definitely dead. You got somebody stalking you. You definitely DEAD.
He just stood there, looking, not moving, just looking. The horn-headed man, his body pale and fragile, and his fingers thin and bony.
Shout out to Lamars for me getting them stories, okay? Alright, bye. Alright, so this is the outro. I hope I see y'all later for part 2. For part 3 of Baby Circus Nightmare. We need that 1 like. Now, I know what y'all thinking. Why am I asking for 1 like? Well, because I'm Adam on YouTube. And I don't have that much subscribers as all these big YouTubers have. And so I would really like it if I at least got 1 like. That'll just make my day. Alright? See y'all later. Bye.